Well, I grew up with dogs my whole life, and my very first dog that we had growing up was a rescue dog from the SPCA.
Well, my kids have been wanting a dog for a long time, and my husband has had a dog before, but I've never had a dog before, so I was kind of anxious about it. I didn't know how it would be. I'm not, I don't love animals. I like them, but not enough to like. So fostering was a good way for us to try it out. See.
I got talked into it, reluctantly. They asked me if I'd watch the dog, and then that was it. After that, I just kept volunteering because it worked well. I enjoyed it. We've been fostering for 5 years. I have 4 dogs, and all were fosters except one.
The first time we fostered, we just fostered one adult dog. And the time after that, we stuck with adults as well. And we switched over to puppies about a year ago, and now we always do puppies 2 at a time. So they can keep each other company at night, they sleep together, and they kind of play together, so it's a lot more fun for them, and it's fun for us too.
We fostered 2 puppies, and we decided on 2 because we figured it would be easier for us so that they have a playmate, as opposed to if you have one dog, then you're kind of entertaining the dog all the time.
Yeah, I was really excited because I never really had a dog before.
This past year, in 2008, we fostered 18 dogs.
They don't like to sleep at night. They usually cry the first couple nights. But sometimes my kids will set up a sleeping bag in front of the dog crate, and they'll sleep in front of the crate until they get used to being here. And then usually by the 3rd or 4th day, they're much better.
It's actually very hard with a puppy because a single puppy is harder than multiple puppies, so they're a lot of work. And you can't keep them, as you well know, you can't keep them let them be unattended for more than like 15 minutes, or they're going to the bathroom in the house. So you really have to watch them.
The puppies, they need more care. They need to be you still need to train them. So I think that was a challenge. And they had a lot of energy, and so you really needed, and I didn't have a fence. That was a big problem. I couldn't just let them out and they go, and I was working at the time, so it was very challenging.
Well, you really have to take them outside a lot, and you need to watch them all the time because they're not house trained.
You definitely lose a lot of sleep. You have to go outside quite a bit because they're not housebroken. So there's a lot of cleaning indoors and a lot of going, outside, usually every 2 hours with puppies, to try to get them housebroken.
And sometimes we get sick dogs. Sometimes they don't make it. Like we've had some dogs that weren't doing well at the SPCA. They wouldn't eat. And so we take them to our house and we try to coddle them and see if they're happier in a home environment. And some are very successful and they go on to be adopted and have good lives, and others don't make it. We've had IV drips in our house, the dog with the IV in their arm, and feeding them liquids and trying to bring them back, and we haven't been successful with some of them. But others have done fine. Sometimes they don't know what the medical issue is. Who were biters, who we ended up recommending that they be euthanized because you just couldn't adopt them out. Which that's very sad. That's challenging too, because you don't want to be the person who says this dog really isn't adoptable. But generally for us, it's actually letting them go. That's the hardest challenge. It's hard.
It was really fun. I was really happy, and they didn't actually make any noise really because they were really quiet. Yeah, we were really excited. We played with them a lot. They had their own little pet because we weren't quite sure what to do.
But in general, we love having the puppies, and they do a lot of fun things too. Like we set up a little wading pool for them in the summer, and they can go in and play with balls and learn how to swim a little bit. So things like that.
Let's see. Actually, one funny was our dog Greta, who we ended up keeping, and she was given up because she was a handful. The people hadn't trained her. She was about 1.5 years old, and she ate their hot tub cover, and I don't know what else she did, but she was always running away. And so finally the people's neighbor convinced the owners that they should give her up. So they gave her up to us, and she was with us for only a few days, and I came downstairs and she was on the kitchen table eating the chocolate Easter eggs out of the Easter basket. So she was a handful. But she's turned into a good dog. She's trained, she does agility, and she has a very good life now.
They would sleep kind of funny. Like sometimes dogs they sleep on their side, but Toby he would sleep on his back sometimes. His legs up. It was really weird how he slept.
Well, I was when they were here in March, I was watching the NCAA tournament and it slept on my head.
I've been doing this for about 2 years. We've had over 25 puppies, and every time one leaves, I still cry. And it's always sad the first day that they're gone, but I usually hear from people either by phone or email. We get updates on how the dogs are doing, and when they go to nice families, we're always happy because we know they're going to have a great life.
Oh God, we cry. We almost always cry. I mean, it's getting easier, but like for example, one of the fosters we have now, he's been here since September, and so we are so attached to him, and we know he's attached to us that it makes it very hard to let him go. And I've embarrassed myself by crying. Like at the SPCA, I was fostering an SPCA dog, and so the dog was adopted from the SPCA premises, and as the people were leaving with the dog, I was bawling. So yes, you do cry. It's very sad. But we know that we've got an opportunity then to save another, and so we still do it.
It was sad, but I knew they'd go to a good home.
Yeah, it was pretty sad, but still learning that.
So before we fostered the dogs, I definitely told everybody, or the kids. Actually, I told the kids, we're not keeping the puppy. We're trying it out. We're just not keeping them because we're not ready. This will be a great experience for us. But at the end of the time that we were supposed to foster them, it was my husband that wanted to keep the dogs. I'm like, no, didn't you hear what I said? So I think, you get attached to them. I mean, they were so cute, and they were, easy to train. They were very smart. So I think that was the hard part, is just letting go at the end.
I was really sad because, they were really fun. They had really nice personalities.
Fostering is a wonderful experience. It's a great family experience. My kids get a lot out of it to help something that needs care, that they can't keep for themselves, and it's great. We love doing it, which is why we've done it so many times. We usually get fosters about every 6 weeks to 8 weeks, and even though it's hard work, it's definitely worthwhile because you know that you're actually saving the animal's life by rescuing, and you're giving somebody the gift of love because the dog's going to be part of their family, for 10 or so years. So it's really rewarding, and it's a great family experience.
I mean, we had a wonderful experience, which is why I think that we ended up getting a dog from that experience. And I knew, because of that experience, I knew what I wanted and didn't want. So I knew I didn't want a puppy because it was too much work, and I knew I didn't want a big dog because we had Labrador Retriever puppies. So that I knew I didn't want, and I knew I didn't want a high energy dog. So all these things I knew, and I knew I needed a fence. So I learned a lot from that experience, which helped me to make a decision.
Yeah, and I would like to do it again. Foster is important to me because it lets you learn more about what kind of animal you like. If you like that kind of dog, or if you don't like that.
It's important to me because I enjoy having puppies around me and gives me something else to do.
Because the dogs need homes, and if not, then they'll get put to sleep. And it's helping somebody who really wants a dog find the dog that's really right for them.
I think so, because otherwise it's a puppy that's going to be not treated well or potentially put to sleep, and that would be bad. saved the puppy and the puppy saved us. It's a good thing. It's like we added a new family member to the house. He's just part of the family now. It's time to eat. We make sure we feed him first. Make sure he goes outside. Make sure he gets lots of exercise. He just becomes part of the family. Take him to the bus stop. He loves going to visit other dogs. We found that out. So he likes dogs. But when he runs, his back legs go flying forward and he looks like part kangaroo or something, and he just bolts. It's great to see.
Because it's a pet that I can rely on to stay alive for more than a month. Yeah. And it's fun to play with, and it's just nice to have a pet that you can tell someone that you've had for more than 2 weeks.
We run, and we play tug of war with the orange toy over there.
We thought it was good to have a pet that, as Ben said, that would stay alive. The fish we weren't doing very well with. We tried our best, but so the dog we understand and know, and he's become part of the family, so he's ours now.
And then on his bedtime, he jumps on you and he thinks right under the pillow, or on the pillow is his spot.
Here's a story I have. Biscuit was sleeping and Mom told me to run him around, and so I pushed him out of bed, and then I took his bed and I just pulled it around the house. Yeah, not realizing there were 2 other beds that he could sleep in.
I like when he stretches out when he's upside down, because then it looks really interesting. And then when he's running, because his ears kind of flop back, so he looks really cute. And then when he runs, because if you go far away from him and then you call and he runs to you, it looks like a missile on feet. A ground missile.
He can protect me.
This shelter in Greenville, they had 17,200 dogs and cats go through their doors last year. They found homes or sent to rescues 9,000. So that means that 8,000 didn't make it, and they had to put them down. And you know, you see that from all the shelters that we work with down south, that they'll tell us, oh yeah, we euthanized 80 dogs last week, because they just, there aren't enough places to send them. And yet, there are people, particularly in the Northeast, who will adopt an older dog and rescue a dog. But we just can't get enough foster homes up here to protect them until they get adopted. There's just so many. It's an unbelievable problem.
Becoming a foster family is really easy. You just fill out the application online, and one of our screeners contacts your references, and then we try to match up our fosters with appropriate dogs. So if you have small kids, then we give you a family-friendly dog. You know, if you like smaller dogs, there's all kinds of small toy dogs, and some people prefer big dogs. We get those too. It takes a lot of time, but not a lot of money. The rescue group provides all the food, the leash, the collar, really everything that you need to take care of the animal. And the only thing that you really have to give is love, time, and attention.